Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Welcome back to From the Pages. Today we're going to take a look at the theatrical release of The Wolverine. Oh, this? Yeah, that's... Don't worry about it. What could possibly go wrong?
There's a saying the Wolverine from the comics is bandied about for decades now. I'm the best at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it does cut to the essence of Wolverine well enough. The man known as Logan is ultimately a lot of nasty business in the shape of a man. If I had to boil down the Wolverine to a word, it would be consequences. The first X-Men franchise has never really dealt with long-term consequences. X-Men Origins and X-Men First Class were prequels and thus not directly attached to the previous films. X2 was pretty much an unrelated adventure to the first one, just starring the same characters, and while it tried to establish events for a successor to follow up on, a change in creative talent led to its feeling like it wanted to explore the mutant cure storyline far more than trying to deal with the Jean Grey as Dark Phoenix story that was set up. So I was more than pleasantly surprised to see the Wolverine follow up on the end of Last Stand, where, spoiler alert for a 7-year-old movie, Wolverine was forced to kill a crazed Jean. Since then, he's taken to becoming a bit of a hermit and living as far away from others as he swore not to kill ever again. But as he gets dragged to Japan by Yukio, an agent of Ishida, a man Logan saved during the bombing of Nagasaki, who offers the long-lived Wolverine a chance to finally be mortal by stripping him of his healing factor. But various factions are in play and act against Logan and Ishida's granddaughter, Mariko. I'll just say it now, I really like this film. While I've always loved Hugh Jackman's performance as Wolverine, this is the closest to the comic we've seen him. The filmmakers clearly understand that he's not just a badass or just the most popular character, but rather that Logan is ultimately a tragic figure. Throughout the film, he's taunted by dreams of Jean Grey, who goads him for killing her and begs for him to join her in death. It pretty much puts a lampshade on the fact that he's good at one thing, killing people, and when he tries to walk away from that life, he has no purpose. This movie is almost more of a character piece than an action vehicle, which after X-Men Origins is probably a good thing. While there are quite a few characters in the story and there's some twists and turns, it tries to keep things relatively simple to follow along the plot. You understand the characters' motivations, which all make sense and feel fleshed out. Unlike Wolverine's last movie, they don't try to force tons of unnecessary cameos that serve no purpose. The only real weak link here is the character of Viper, who in the comics is a pretty big deal as one of the heads of Hydra, but here she's just reduced to a generically evil baddie. Very much better than the other two female leads, Yukio and Mariko. Mariko serves as both the plot's MacGuffin that all the bad guys are after, and the love interest with Wolverine. Because of much of the movie is Wolverine protecting her, they are given much more time to bond. As such, I found the romance here actually way more believable than any of the previous X-Men films. Besides that, she comes across as a smart, independent Japanese woman who, despite not having the fighting skills of other people in the film, comes across as more than just a damsel in distress. Yukio, on the other hand, is a martial arts master. And oh my god, they put a major female character as a genuine ass-kicker who is treated as a peer to Wolverine and not as a potential love interest. I love that. I want to see more of these two together. If I had to complain about one thing, it's that the action is pretty perfunctory. It's not bad, but I was never really on the edge of my seat. I think this is a film that really needed to be an R rating, since it wants to dwell on how Wolverine wants to put his brutal past behind him, but the action mostly comes off as safe and bloodless, with few exceptions. Sure, we see Wolverine slashing at people, but there's very little bite to it, which is enough for most of the film, but in the last act of the movie, which is almost entirely action, it does feel like it lost a lot of its steam. But even then, that doesn't stop me from finding this film worth my time. While I don't think this film topped X2 or X-Men First Class for me, it's still one of the best in the series. If you're an X-Men fan who felt disappointed by X-Men 3 or X-Men Origins, do yourself a favor and check this one out. Oh, and make sure you sit through the credits. It'll be worth it.
The Wolverine is a pretty good film and you should go watch it. But these are not very good itch scratchers. I'm gonna go get a blood transfusion right after I take this nap.
Ow, I fell on my itch scratchers.
Geek Vision.